Big question, Saggy, is can you break the chain this month? For some of you, the chain will be mental. Oof, hang on. For some of you, it's more physical. For some of you, wow, it's a combination of both. First card that I get for you is the bottle. For me, I'm getting kind of message in a bottle as well, kind of vibes. What is meant to find you, yes. What is meant to be found will reach you, even across great distances. There's been a longing, there's been a sense of being held back. There's been a sense, I think, of repression for you, which I've been picking up for months. For Sagittarians, that is not a good thing. You are ruled by Jupiter, you're in your season at the moment. You should be open, you should always be expanding. You're the planet, you're the sign for philosophy, for long-term travel, for aerial thinking, okay? And it makes you attractive to other people for some reason, probably jealousy, envy, or something that person probably can't even put their finger on, that they want to take you down a peg, that they want to make you stay where you are, that they want to kind of clip your wings in some way. This has probably, for those of you this is resonating with, this has probably affected you your whole life at different points. You could probably plot it on a life map. It could happen to you in the setting of a school, because the Sagittarius and the classroom aren't always best friends. Not to say you're not academic, you're probably very academic, but in your own way, as in Sagittarians, the more freedom they have, the more genius they can unveil. The more you try and close them in and trap them, the more they diminish their own, I hate saying this word, their own light, okay? I know it's a little bit Facebook post, don't dim your light, all that stuff, but the cards are what they are. The lighthouse. Look out for full moons. A guiding light is only useful if you're willing to follow it. Tough love from the tarot, tough love from the oracle. I'm getting a vision of fog and the sea and a lighthouse at the top. And it's weird because lighthouses should be in the sea, but it's not, and I don't know why. Okay, because I'm not gonna make it what it isn't. You've got this lighthouse, which is also a bit of a ruin, so it could be like an abandoned lighthouse, a ghost lighthouse, and this thing should not be creating a light because it's a ruined one. It's a what do they call it? Derelict. Christ almighty. It's a derelict lighthouse. It's a long way away. You're walking like along the cliffs or whatever, you see this thing, maybe this is something you see in your hometown or a building or some kind, but you can see through the fog there is this light that is just, like if you're a kid and if you're in a bedroom which is dark, maybe the curtains are open, I'm not sure, and a car goes past and the headlights sweep your bedroom. If you're afraid of the dark like I was, you would have watched a lot of that. And it would have felt vaguely nice because it tells you there's somebody out there, and it tells you there's a connection, and it tells you that somebody sees you, somebody's listening. And also, as a Sagittarius, you need a higher purpose. You need to be the higher purpose. You need to follow the path. You need to always be looking beyond the borders of things because that's who you are. The third card I get for you, and this is the skull. Hey up. Look beyond appearances to uncover deeper truths. Yes. Things are not, and I'm going to grab a pen. Always have to grab a pen during your reading, Sagittarius, and can never ever find one. One moment. Got it. Things are not completely as they appear in your world. Okay? things are not as they appear, and I have to write that down. With a pen that barely works. Okay, let's crack open some tarot. Tell us a bit more, please. Do you know what? I'm going to use those in a minute. I might use those for the love section. Second half will be the love section. I'm going to use the tarot that goes with the Enchanted Veil Oracle, which is the Enchanted Veil Tarot. Tell me, please, about what is hidden, what remains unseen, oh, that's a jumper, what the lighthouse is sweeping to show you. This lighthouse represents something you've had all your life and had when you were little, and it's an ability, like a third eye, that you could see what the adults were doing, that you knew about strange. It's a bit like a Stranger Things type vibe. You sort of knew that there was the upside down. You knew that there was something else. It may mean that you are either attracted to or repelled by, because sometimes it can cause attraction or repulsion, leading some kind of spiritual group or learning some kind of spiritual thing. You get the Three of Cups, which is the group. And this could be that you're going to do something on your social media, or you're going to join a forum, or you're going to start a spiritual group, or you're going to teach something. There's something about almost being chosen here. You know, like a bit like the lottery finger, you know, it's you. There's something here that you have, things that you know that other people would really benefit from knowing. And you've had this sense of enlightenment. And we've got this message in a bottle card. There's a way to share it. But there's also, and some of you can only know yourself whether you were in this category or not. Some of you have not quite finished having the downloads that are going to tell you what you need to know yet. Because the next card I get, of course, is the High Priestess. You're a mutable sign, but you're a fire sign. It's an interesting combination. The High Priestess knows things, but speaks in tongues and doesn't. She's not easy to understand. People would go to the oracle at Delphi. She would be kind of inhaling these vapors and just speaking in tongues and basically being completely out there. She didn't, and you shouldn't, she didn't dumb it down so that the muggles could understand. It's not a case of you dumbing it down for the muggles. There are people who are not people who are in the know, and those people would like to bring you back to what they deem to be the normal or the everyday or the acceptable to them. You are not, you could do that, and I feel like some of you have been doing that. I feel like some of you have been meeting that need in other people to categorize you and to keep you segregated or repressed or convenient or packaged right or whatever it is for you. And I feel like that needs to stop. It feels as if you've compromised enough. You've compromised enough. And the time has come. It's not quite here yet, but this is your season, so you have like a power up. The foundation is being laid for you not to be making less of yourself for the sake of other people's comfort. King of Wands. Yes. I love this card for you. King of Wands is a Sagittarius king. You know, he's fun, He's good at parties, and not all Saggies are, and as you get older, you become more introvert as a Saggy, but you're still extrovert inside. It's a hard one to explain, because there are introverted Sagittarians, but they're also extrovert philosophically. The King of Wands is when you don't give any Fs, you know, you're just like, here's me. Saggies need to play. They need the playground of the universe with no edges, with as few edges as possible, okay? I'm getting a download of you, but with those walker reins on, with someone holding you back. There it is, the devil. Now the devil, have we got chains on this card? There should be chains on a devil card. Have I got my, I don't think I've got my glasses with me. This is going to be a fun reading. Okay, yeah, there are chains all over the back of the chair. Now, here it is. The devil is usually, especially in a very rooted reading like I'm doing here, the devil is usually somebody who teaches you how to keep yourself in chains. So as a child, this could be an adult, a teacher, a parent, somebody in a position of power who either bullies you into it or shames you into it. I'm getting some shame type things from childhood things. It's a weird vibe because Sagittarius is the least shameful of the signs, the least likely to buy into the concept of shame. But everybody's malleable when they're younger. And although it wouldn't have sat well with you, you may have learned to please the grown-ups in acting with humility, where that's actually just acting because you're made to experience shame. There is something deeper here for some of you, which is a childhood invested in keeping other people safe when you weren't safe. That is really resonant. That's hard. I can feel that here. You are now probably very good at keeping other people safe. You may have a job that involves the welfare of other people, the welfare of animals. And you're good at it because you know what it feels like to not be safe. And there's something here about the feeling of being in chains keeping you safe, and that freedom can be scary, obviously. But at the same time, you're turning a corner. This lighthouse that is letting out this weak beam through the fog in this derelict building is just showing you, it's like a heartbeat that's kept going for you in all the times when you could not keep it going, and all the times that you sacrificed yourself for other people's convenience, will over yours, power over you, however it happened. This lighthouse has kept the score and kept the faith and kept going. And it feels like you're now getting the message in a bottle. And the message in a bottle reveals some of the things that, and the feelings and the truths that you needed to know, that you already knew. That's going on there. God, this pen. These are the truths you already knew, because that is your style. You do already know as a Sagittarius. It's tricky to be a Sagittarius child. It can be amazing with the right people and the right surroundings and the right kind of school. But it can also be a difficult, repressive kind of a time. And I feel like for some of you, it's time to find out where the bodies were buried. And that is not easy, but it really breaks the chain for you. Yeah. Just writing down chains. How do I manage to choose the one pen in the pot that doesn't work? Okay, I'm going to take a couple more here. I'm going to look at love and relationships. Yes. Because I can kind of see this theme. Yeah. Eight of Swords, absolutely. Eight of Swords, Jupiter and Gemini. Eight of Swords, 8 is always a movement in tarot. It's either a movement to free yourself, it's a movement to speak, which would be the Eight of Wands. It's a movement away from something that's emotionally difficult, which would be the Eight of Cups. It's a movement towards making money and working, which is the Eight of Pentacles. The Eight of Swords is an interesting one because the movement is there, but the swords are all restricting. And what decision do you make when you can't see and you're bound and you have all these swords surrounding you? It's an internal switch. It's an internal decision. I'm just looking to see if there's a pen on the floor. It's a will. It's a change of will. It's you. You're done. You're done. You're done with this. But it is not easy. Sometimes, I'm just going to get another pen. Sometimes, hang on. When you're in your solar return, when you're in your birthday season, whoops, it's supposed to be, you know, woohoo, you're in your season, it's all this, that and the other, you're very powerful and all that. And it kind of is. But what I tend to find, just from my own observing, is things really come home to roost during your season. And it can be a very testing time. So it's a testing time for you. And I'm just here to say you are seen. Say that in the comments as well. You are seen, okay? This is like a witness. It's the tarot attesting to what's been going on for such a very long time. I mean, I've been picking up on this in your readings for a few months, maybe a year or two actually, if you look back. I've been picking up on it, and it's been difficult to see because Sagittarius for me is such, my midheaven is in Sagittarius. This is one of my favourite t-shirts. I don't know, Sagittarius is my, you know, if I could be any sign, I'd be choosing Sagittarius. I've got a new nephew, well, he's coming up for 1 actually. He's a Saggy, oh my God. You know, when a Sagittarius grows up in an atmosphere, and at the moment, the atmosphere for him is freedom and just love, and he's radiant, absolutely radiant. And I know people always say that, but I'm not really a kid person all the time. But by God, that kid is radiant. There's something about Sagittarius lighting up a room, and it should be. You do that. And it's not ego driven. It's a light that you can bring, but it can be really snuffed out. It can't be completely snuffed out though, but it can be like shaded. 7 of Cups, don't go into fantasy land. I love the 7 of Cups as a card. It's always very beautiful, but at the same time, especially having the mutability and having the Jupiter, you could go into sort of a sense of escapism, and maybe you had to when you were younger, but that is not going to serve you now, okay? 2 cards as we move into the erection section. 3 of Pentacles. People are coming to work with you. Collaboration is good. Oh my Lord. The 10 of Cups. It's time to do the love reading. This is very nice. It may be romantic for some of you. And for others of you, it's like a completion of yourself. Because it can be both. I'm going to save that for... So I'm going to do you a love and relationship reading here. I'm probably going to use the same cards actually. There will be an extended love reading. And in that I do you and them side by side. Okay? So I'm going to use that other deck when it's you and them side by side. So it's you and whatever your connection is. Could be anyone, could be your ex, could be a current person. And I do that side by side. Let's have a look then. Love and relationships. I'm liking this. What's at the bottom? Good. Itchy nose. So we have our 10 of Cups. Self-love is very, very important for you. It's always important, but it's never been more important than now, okay? The 6 of Swords as well. Finding a way forward. Finding a way into the light when it comes to love and relationships. And every part, actually, of your life at the moment. It comes with, if you can hear clicks, by the way, it's my cats who, whenever I'm doing a reading, suddenly decide they must come in and out constantly. Ace of Wands. Attraction. Kundalini energy. It feels like, and then also the Knight of Wands. Okay. So we've got the 10 of Cups, the 6 of Swords, the Ace of Wands, the Knight of Wands. That's a lot of energy. What I'm getting with the Ace of Wands and the 6 of Swords, and I don't know how this works, is a new way to find attraction, or a new way to experience attraction, which is very interesting. Some of you, because of the way things were when you were younger, or the restrictions that had been placed on you psychologically, may have had a period in your life, I'm picking up here, where you chased people who were unavailable, or just attracted people who were unavailable, or attracted people who made themselves feel more powerful by diminishing you. And it's interesting because you're a fire sign, you're very spirited, you know, people would think, to look at you from the outside, you're full of confidence, and in some ways you are, because that's natural for Saggy. But there's this other side. If you have experienced the need, or the necessity, I'm going to say, to diminish yourself in order to make other people stronger, to be the human bridge is what I'm getting, to be the stepping stone. I'm getting a channel of you becoming a step so other people can get to where they need to be. Weird, but very powerful. It feels as if you need to conquer new territory when it comes to attraction. And this could be in a current relationship. It could be in a future relationship. Whatever it is, it's a need for you to grasp the nettle. It's a need for you to lead the way. Not to follow. Let's take a couple more cards for this. For some of you, I feel like this Knight of Wands is someone who can meet fire with fire. Someone who is brave enough to walk beside you, alongside you, and not want you to walk behind them. Oof. For some of you, there's complications. Just let me take that card. Yeah, okay, good. Yeah. 3 of Wands here, very beautiful. This is you looking beyond the immediate, beyond the everyday, beyond the restriction of a current relationship, or beyond the rules, beyond the dynamic, beyond your history. There is some sense of stuckness with the Two of Swords. So there is something in a relationship that isn't moving. Still water is not a good thing. But at the same time, you get judgment next to it. And that means there's something you need to notice. There's something you need to learn. There's a truth you need to see before you can move on with this relationship. Before you have completed this cycle and can start the next one. I'm going to take an oracle card from the Price of Love Oracle here. In the extended, I will do a you and me side-by-side reading, and it just represents the energy of the other person or the other situation and of you side-by-side. You are more important than your relationship, I'm also getting. Which may be surprising to hear. Okay, I want the one off the bottom. I may regret that. No, I don't. Okay. Connection. This is interesting because frankly I was expecting a real stinker. Okay. And synchronicity. That is powerful. And hot. The lighthouse is pulling you towards it. The universe is sending you a message in a bottle. This may be mirrored a bit in your love life in terms of messages coming through somehow from people not in the normal way. This could be telepathic. This could be through weird social media. This could be through an old phone on an old number, or a DM and an account that you never look at. You know, it's like synchronicity is moving in your favor. There is a need for connection, but the universe is going to make sure, and so are you, that you don't connect in the way you used to connect with people. That the way you connect now is with your eyes wide open and your heart wide open, but a very strong sense of self with that 10 of Cups. This is a very interesting and very powerful reading. Okay, I'm going to go and do the extended reading. I know which deck I'm going to use actually, so let's just get on and do it. If you want to come for the extended love reading, the link is down below. Do leave me a comment and do hype the video if it really felt like it resonated. I'll see you on the other side. Namaste.